Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 6, Text 9. Yasya kila anucharitam upakarnya konka venka kutakanam raja arhatnama upasiksha kalau adharme उत्कृष्यमाने भवितव्येन विमोहितः स्वधर्मपथं अकुतः भयं अपहाय कुपथपाखण्डं असमञ्जसं निजमनीषया मंदः संप्रवर्तयिष्यते। यस्य किलानुचरितमुपाकर्ण्य कंकवेंककुटकानां राजार्हन्नामोपशिक्ष्य कलावधर्म उत्कृष्यमाणे भवितव्येन विमोहितः स्वधर्मपथम् अकुतो भयम् अपहाय कुपथपाखण्डम् असमञ्जसं निजमनीषया मंदः संप्रवर्तयिष्यते। यस्य, of whom Lord Rishabhdev, Kila Anucharitam, pastimes as a Paramahamsa, above all regulative varnashram principles, Upakarnya, hearing, Konka Venka Kutakanam, of Konka, Venka and Kutaka, Raja, the king, Arhat Nama, whose name was Arhat, now known as the Jain, Upasiksha, imitating the activities of Lord Rishabhdev in his Paramahamsa feature, Kalau, in this age of Kali, Adharme Utkrishyamane, because of increasing irreligious life, Bhavitavyena, by that which was about to happen, Vimohitah, bewildered, Swadharma Patham, the path of religion, Akutah Bhayam, which is free from all kinds of fearful danger, Apahaya, giving up such practices as cleanliness, truthfulness, control of the senses and mind, simplicity, the principles of religion, and practical application of knowledge. Kupatha Pakhandam, the wrong path of atheism. Asamanjasam, improper or against the Vedic literature. Nijamanishaya, by his own fertile brain. Mandaha, most foolish, sampravartayishyate, will introduce. Haribol, the table, the leg is not completely out properly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Shukadeva Goswami continued, speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. My dear king, the king of Konka, Venka and Kutaka, whose name was Arhat, heard of the activities of Rishabdev and imitating Rishabdev's principles, introduced a new system of religion. Taking advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful activity, King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles which are free from risk and concocted a new system of religion opposed to the Vedas. That was the beginning of the Jain Dharma. Many other so-called religions followed this atheistic system. Please repeat. Shukadeva Goswami continued, speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. My dear king, the king of Konka, Venka and Kutaka, whose name was Arhat, heard of the activities of Rishabdev and imitating Rishabdev's principles, introduced a new system of religion. Taking advantage of Kali Yuga, the age of sinful activity, King Arhat, being bewildered, gave up the Vedic principles which are free from risk and concocted a new system of religion opposed to the Vedas. That was the beginning of the Jain Dharma. Many other so-called religions followed this atheistic system. Purport. When Lord Sri Krishna was present on this planet, a person named Paundraka imitated the four-handed Narayan and declared himself the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He desired to compete with Krishna. Similarly, during the time of Lord Rishabdev, the king of Konka and Venka acted like a Paramahamsa and imitated Lord Rishabdev. He introduced a system of religion and took advantage of the fallen condition of the people in this age of Kali. It is said in Vedic literatures that people in this age will be more inclined to accept anyone as the Supreme Lord and accept any religious system opposed to Vedic principles. The people in this age are described as Mandaha Sumandamatayah. Generally, they have no spiritual culture and therefore they are very fallen. Due to this, they will accept any religious system. Due to their misfortune, they forget the Vedic principles. Following non-Vedic principles in this age, they think themselves the Supreme Lord and thus spread the cult of atheism all over the world. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmelitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Gangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, Rishabdev, we have seen in the previous chapter and also I think in the beginning of this chapter, where it is mentioned how Rishabdev, who is actually an incarnation of Krishna, he instructed his 100 sons, chief of whom was King Bharata, of whom we know the famous story where he became a deer and Jada Bharat, that is his first son, Rishabdev's first son. So then after instructing his sons, he left home. That is the system one has to follow. Panchashordhvam vanam brajet. After 50 years old, one should not keep on celebrating silver jubilee, golden jubilee, diamond jubilee, titanium jubilee, whatever. That is not the aim of human life. People nowadays do that. Celebrating 60 years of marriage, 80 years of marriage. 80 years, I don't know. 50, I think 25 is silver, 50 is gold, 60 is diamond. Well, the real diamond of life is Krishna consciousness. So they lose that and then they think that this is diamond. So family life is only a concession for sense gratification, and that too in a responsible way, dovetailing everything in Krishna's service. But after some time, it has also to be given up. But nowadays, in Kali Yuga, nobody is trained to become a brahmachari, and he cannot live without a woman. So in his early life, he lived pampered by the mother, who does everything for him. And then later on, he wants a wife. And moreover, apart from just the mother and that influence, now there is also influence of movies, all kinds of things. And also the education system promotes that. The English education system, co-education. So the system is to make profit. It's chiefly driven by capitalism, which is for profit. And they need more people to work for them. So they have designed an education system where you will be perfectly fitting their, mold, so that you can work for them. You can be a slave. They say slavery is a medieval evil. Now it's gone. No, it's not gone. Now, those days they were forcibly made slaves. Now they will convince you to become a slave. And so, when I am doing it myself, I apply for the job. I myself apply for the job. So I am made to believe that I have independence where I don't have. So that's the illusion of modern system of capitalism. Capitalism, communism, mostly capitalism, because there's no welfare. Our Vedic system is a spiritual welfare state. That is the actual system that should be followed. Spiritual welfare state. Whereas now it is just capitalism. So, education system, they put boys and girls together so that both can learn something. And instead of why only men should work, then half of the population, the women, are at home. So why not get them to work also? But if you ask them, you also work, they won't like it. So they will motivate them. You can also do it. You're as good as a man. Career, this thing. Give them some CEO position, some chief position, so that you see she has made it. You can also do it. So then get them on, riled up, so that they will work enthusiastically for them. But then there is a problem where women get pregnant. So then that will be a disturbance for the work, no? Pregnancy leave, and maybe after that she don't want to work. So they will have pregnancy, leave and everything. But on the side, they will promote movements like women's liberation, women's rights, right to abort. Why? Then you can have her uninterruptedly working, no? Never mind, you go to hell, who cares? So they will promote this system. They are the ones, those capitalists, those big companies are the ones lobbying the government to pass laws like this abortion. And they will get some foolish woman to, protest and say, oh, this is right to my body, I can do whatever I like. In the process, they kill the child, but they will not call it killing, they'll call it abortion. Abortion means when you abort a mission, it's an activity which you are stopping. So it is not, the words are used in such a way that it doesn't hit you that you are actually killing a baby. So with all these subversive tactics, they want to destroy the society. This is the demoniac principle. So capitalism is a perfect demoniac principle. So then they will also promote the women to, focus on their career, put off marriage as far as possible, so that they will not have as many children. Because previously they used to have many children, no? We know our previous generations have many children. And they used to maintain, only man used to work, and they had like 10 children, and still the family used to go on. Now, one child, 2 children, 2 people working cannot run the family. So they tax, government tax enough so that they'll keep on working. Both work, and then put off the marriage as much as possible. That will create a lot of social unrest, social problems, but they don't care. They just want profits. And in the education system itself, now, if I want to work with a motivated sense, then I think who is that economist who said family life is the basis of economic development. Because a bachelor, he will today work, tomorrow he will quit. Our bachelor is here. Whenever he likes, he wants to quit. But if you have family, you can't immediately quit like that, right? So you have to work. So that is a incentive to work, or rather, it's not an incentive, it's like a negative incentive. If you don't work, then you'll be finished, your family will be finished. So in the school itself, they will have courting or whatever, and then in the workplace also they will put man and woman together so that they court, or sometimes the wife of one will court with the husband of another. They don't care, just let it go, we want money. So in this way, the whole system is now corrupted. But Varnashram system is to as much as possible reduce this. Family life also only for 25 years. No celebrating golden nonsense jubilees all. Then Maya will give you googly and will come again next birth. So eventually we have to leave. And Vrishabdev, he instructed his sons and left. And left completely detached. And he was like Avadhut. And he showed, we saw in the last chapter how he was completely oblivious to all kinds of criticism or praise that people were giving. People were insulting him, throwing stones at him, passing urine on him, throwing stool at him, passing foul air at him, insulting him in so many ways, but he did not care. So in this way, he lived. Now, today's verse is that there is this. I do not understand the chronology here very much, because at the time, you see, similarly during the time of Lord Rishabhdev, the king of Konka and Vanka acted like a Paramahamsa and imitated Lord Rishabhdev. He introduced a system of religion and took advantage of the fallen condition of the people in this age of Kali. So, I do not know if he is at that time or somebody who imitated Rishabhdev in this Kali Yuga. They call them Tirthankars in Jain religion. You know those, right? Tirthankar. I think they have history of very long, their religion is also not very like new kind of thing. Some of their Tirthankars are like very many thousands of years back or something like that. I don't know when exactly he came. Huh? Is it? Where is it mentioned? Padma Purana. Wow. So is it in another Kali Yuga or what? This, I don't know when he came. So here it is said that he imitated Lord Rishabhdev and introduced a system of religion that is concocted, in fact. A new system of religion opposed to the Vedas. They don't accept the Vedas, right? They don't accept the Vedas. That was the beginning of Jain Dharma. And it is an atheistic system. Many other so-called religions follow this atheistic system. Now if you see, even this is condemned in Srimad Bhagavatam. I mean, even our own Sanatana Dharma, the fruitive part of the Karmakanda section, Jnanakanda section is also condemned. Dharma projhita kaitavatra parama nirmatsaranam satam. But at least they are in the Vedic fold. They are in the Vedic fold. But anything that is outside of the purview of Vedas is considered atheism or not so advanced form of religion. Yesterday I was reading an article by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He said Christianity and Islam, they are at their core, they are Vaishnava religions at the core. But of course, very basic form of Vaishnava religion, because they accept one God and surrender unto Him utterly. That is the thing. So that is Vaishnava religion, akin to Vaishnava religion. And then this Jainism, Buddhism, they are more like Shaiva religions. Usually Shaivites, they into, Mayavad kind of impersonalism. They tend towards that, Shaivites. And this Jainism and Buddhism, they are into that, impersonalism and voidism. So they are like Shaiva religions, Shaivite religions. So in this way, he was making an analysis. So here, concocting an atheistic system by imitating a Paramahamsa. Now, today we have in India, and also even here and wherever Indians are, there are Jain restaurants. And they are very particular about their food. They don't even eat potatoes and carrots and onion garlics. Onion garlic also they don't eat, right? Under the ground, roots they won't eat. Like that. So it looks like nice, right? I mean, they're not killing anyone, or they don't want to kill, and that's the reason why they're. But still, it is condemned. So this is an example of moral principles, but if they are devoid of Vedic authority, it's condemned. Which is another reason why Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he wanted to be truthful in the battlefield, and Krishna asked him to lie, it was a test for Yudhishthira. People blame Krishna. You see, he's spoiling Yudhishthira Maharaj. No, but Yudhishthira Maharaj had this, of course, he's pure devotee, but for our example, for us to teach us, he had this fault that he wanted to be a strict moralist, and that is a fault. Not that Krishna was trying to spoil a very bhola bhala, insan, very, like honest and straightforward person. Krishna is trying to spoil him also. No, because what is honest, what is honesty, what is moral principle is that to obey one's father is a moral principle. But from where does that moral principle come from? No. What mother? Anyhow, somewhere. It comes from the original principle of obeying our Supreme Father. We choose to obey this Father and to the exclusion of obeying Krishna. That is condemned. So, every religious principle, every moral principle that exists is actually a reflection of a spiritual principle, spiritual morality, transcendental morality. Mundane morality is condemned. So, Yudhishthira Maharaj could not lie. Then, of course, Krishna's plan won't stop. Whether I wish to cooperate with Krishna or I do not wish, Krishna's plan will go on. So, Drona had to be killed, and that is his plan, and that will go on. Whether Yudhishthira Maharaj will cooperate or not, but he is testing Yudhishthira Maharaj, you will cooperate with me or not? Oh, you will not cooperate. Okay. I'll make you cooperate in a different way, but I'll teach you a lesson later. So, he told the truth. I think I hope you know the story. So, because Ashwatthama is the son of Dronacharya, and Dronacharya was fighting very fiercely in the Kurukshetra war, and he was decimating all the soldiers on the Pandava side. And his vow was that he would stop fighting only if he knows that if his son is dead, Ashwatthama is dead. That is the only condition in which he will stop fighting. So nobody could match. I mean, who? The Pandavas, nobody could match Dronacharya in his fighting. So he was going on unrestricted. And so Krishna, of course, Krishna can kill anyone. Millions of universes are coming out of him. He can do anything. But in the context of the war, he wanted to get him out. So he asked Yudhishthira Maharaj. So they had a plan. So why don't we say that we will separate Ashwatthama and Dronacharya and tell Dronacharya that Ashwatthama is dead. Then Bhima said, yes, I will do it. Krishna said, nobody will believe you. Dronacharya knows that you will lie, you will do anything to, But if Yudhishthira Maharaj says, he will believe. Okay, let's ask Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was asked. Yudhishthira said, I know, he did not want to lie. How can I lie? And Krishna noted that. He said, okay. Of course, Krishna's arrangement, some elephant also was named Ashwatthama. Right? So, a big war elephant on the Kaurava side, also the name was Ashwatthama. Very powerful elephant. So, then he asked Bhima to kill that elephant and then asked Yudhishthira Maharaj. So, Bhima easily killed that elephant. For him, it is nothing. Then, he asked Yudhishthira Maharaj to announce to Dronacharya the truth, because he did not want to lie. Okay, you tell Ashwatthama is dead, but the elephant not your son. So he said, okay, this is okay for me, this I can do, because it is the truth. So then he said that, he announced, Ashwatthama is dead. When he shouted, Ashwatthama is dead. And then, but it is the elephant, not your son. When he was saying the second part of the sentence, everybody was, Krishna and all the Pandavas, they blew the conch shell very loudly. Everybody on the Pandava side blew the conch shell so loudly he could not hear the last part. So he thought Ashwatthama is dead, and he put down his weapons and he sat down on the chariot, and Drishtadyumna came and beheaded him. Now, the way Drishtadyumna killed Dronacharya was also not according to the codes of war. Krishna asking Yudhishthira Maharaj to speak a lie, that is also not morality. And the way Dronacharya was killed, that is also not morality. Mundane morality. But when Krishna asks us to do, we have to do. That is the test. We have to do anything for Krishna. So Krishna tested. So Yudhishthira Maharaj had to see hell for at least 1 hour before he went back to Godhead. You know that illusion where he saw all his brothers and wife, mother, everybody in hell, and Duryodhan was enjoying in heaven. He was shown all these things. You know. Then he was like, "What is this?" So he had to face that illusion for 1 hour. He saw that. So after that only he was admitted into the kingdom of God. So mundane morality without something that is against Krishna is condemned. Now here Jain religion has all moral principles, seemingly mundane morality, and they are into this impersonalism. So that is condemned. That is actually, where is the morality? If I reject my father, God is our father. So if we reject him, reject his personality, that means he's as good as a demon who wants to see him dead. Impersonalists are akin to demons because both want to see God dead. One wants to kill him, one wants to kill him philosophically. One wants to actually kill him. This is the same thing. What is that? Vedana mania Bauddha hoito Nastik. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Vedana mania, Buddhists are called Bauddha. They are called Nastik, atheists. Astik means theist. Asti in Sanskrit means there is. Asti means there is. I mean there is God. Whoever is believer of Asti, that means there is God, he is called Astik. Nasti means, Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyata. There is no other way, no other way. Gatir means way. There is no, there is no, there is no. So there is means, that is how the word came. Nastik and Astik. So this Nastik, Vedana Manya, Bauddha hoita Nastik. So if we don't accept the Vedas, we are Nastik. So if I am a devotee of Krishna, if I profess myself a devotee of Krishna, but I don't believe the statements of the Vedas, then I am Nastik. I cannot be considered among the Astik. Even though I may say, oh, Krishna is God, Atheistic, I worship, but I reject his word, then that so-called submission is only lip service. Oh, I am devotee. But what the Shastra is saying, I am not following. So there is a nice verse in this regard. In the purport of this 1129, we have this verse from Vishnu Dharmottara. That's so? I don't know where exactly it's from. So, Shruti Smriti Mamaiva Agnya Yaste Ullanghya Vartate Agnya Thedi Mama Dveshi Madbhaktopi Na Vaishnava. Madbhaktopi. The Shruti and Smriti literatures are to be understood as my injunctions, and one who violates such codes is to be understood as violating my will and thus opposing me. Although such a person may claim to be my devotee, he is not actually a Vaishnava. I had this argument just until yesterday also. In last couple of 2-3 days, it was on chat. Somebody was sending me this chat, commenting on my recent series on Islam, the conversation of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur with the Islamic scholar. And he's actually someone who watches these lectures, so he will watch this one also. So anyway, so he was saying he appreciated our lectures, but then he had this different idea that, the Quran Muhammad. There's no proof that they actually existed. It's a made up thing or whatever. So he was trying to say like that, and he shared with me some videos and like kind of material saying that some YouTube videos that he's trying to prove like he's not there or what. I did not bother to watch those videos, so I just shared our Shastra, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I mean, first of all, our Bhavishya Puran mentions Prophet Muhammad, and Narasimha Puran has that shloka, Damshtra Damshtrahatom Lecho, that verse, you know this verse, Narasimha Puran. दंष्ट्रि दंष्ट्राहतो म्लेच्छो हारामेति पुनः पुनः उक्त्वापि मुक्तिमाप्नोति किं पुनः श्रद्धया गृह्णाति. You know this verse? Even a mlecha who is being killed by the tusk of a boar and who cries in distress again and again, Haram, Haram, attains liberation. What then to speak of those who chant the holy name with veneration and faith? You know this verse? So this mlecha is actually referring to the Muslim who was being attacked by the boar. For them, boar and pig is haram. So he was being killed, attacked by the boar, and as he was being gored to death by the boar, he was saying haram, haram, but because the meaning is haram, it took Ram is so merciful. He took it as his own name, and he got liberated. In a helpless condition, he chanted the name of Ram, Haram, Haram. Like they say Gandhi chanted Hey Ram. So Haram, Haram, and got liberated. So, and this verse, since this is a quotation from the Narasimha Puran, this indicates that in the Puranic age there must also have been mlechas and yavanas, and that the words haram, meaning condemned, were also uttered in those days. So, in a previous Kali Yuga somewhere, this must have been a case. The story must have been from there, because Narasimha Puran was written just prior to this Kali Yuga. So, so as I quoted these things, so you see, our scriptures mention the presence of Islam and Quran and Prophet Muhammad, Hazrat Muhammad, and Lord Chaitanya quoted from the Quran, speaking to the Muslims, and proved to them from the Quran that the Lord has form. And we have also touched upon those verses in that series that we did. And also, other interesting quotes were, of course, tolerance of other religions and non-advocacy of violence. All these things are there in the Quran. So this idea of terrorism with the name of jihad and all this is not authorized in the Quran. So anyway, so I said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur said Hazrat Muhammad is in the Sakhyaras. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, of course, quoted all the things. So I said, if our Acharyas, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if our Shastras say that there is, how can I believe some other presentation which says that, oh, it doesn't exist? So that is deviating. Madbhaktopina Vaishnava, that verse just now. I mean, even if that person was actually a devotee. Of course, he still has respect. He said, it doesn't change anything. I just wanted to show this historical part, he was saying. But the thing is, we can't believe something that is not upheld by the scriptures. So, in any way, even as devotees, sometimes, the fourth offense is there, right? To blaspheme Vedic scriptures or literatures in pursuance of the Vedic version. So, what is this blasphemy of Vedic literature? Blasphemy of Vedic literature means not only to say that this is not correct, but also subtly doing it, even when I am a devotee. When I am a devotee also, subtly, because we are conditioned with our material way of life. And sometimes we can't digest some injunctions of the Shastra. So we tend to like, okay, don't talk about it. I think Nimanita Prabhu did some video on that taboo subjects of Vedas something. So we don't want to talk about it because it's uncomfortable for us to talk about it. Yeah? So we should not. Like for example, and a good example is Prabhupada, when, there were many times this happened, I think everybody knows. So there was one point where, women reporters, news reporters, they came to Prabhupada, I think in America or something. Hey, put your phone on silent mode. So they came to Prabhupada and asked, we heard that in your movement, we heard that you say that women should be subservient to men. Is that true? They asked. Prabhupada said, not should be, they are. There's no compromise, there's no filter. We should not have filters. Yeah, there is one way of saying, of course, there is no tactfully saying, some things, for some other things, that's a different thing. To encourage someone, but never compromising at any point. We should know how to do this from Srila Prabhupada, the way he handled. He said, not should be, they are by nature, Prabhupada said. And he was even more triggered. Why do you say that? Prabhupada said, yeah, that's why. They dress in a way to attract the man, to invite them. Please take me as subservient. Enjoy me. Here I am. So, anyway, but that subservience should be used in Krishna's service in a proper marriage, where the husband is devotee, and in that way it has to be done. So they don't want to do that. In Western culture, if you say something like that, of course nowadays I see some women in the West, they are actually fighting for being subservient to the men. That's a little bit surprising to me. There are such YouTube channels also, where their whole program of the YouTube channel is a lady. Like this, there are a few. They're all about how to be subservient to the man. This feminism has gone too much overboard. Nonsense. And there's no femininity at all in the woman anymore. They want to be masculine. So in this way, they are doing. So anyway, but you see, there's no compromise. Another example is recent Amogalila's episode, where he spoke about Vivekananda, rightfully so, that Vivekananda is nonsense. He even did not say even the word nonsense. I am saying nonsense, but he did not even use the word nonsense. He just asked question, like, can a Siddha Purush eat fish? And he says Jatama Tattvavit. Of course, he made funny caricatures, but what he said was not wrong. But to pander to the public, ISKCON has banned him. And not just banned him, glorified Vivekananda and Ramakrishna. So, if they are devotees, and Agnya Chedi Mama Dveshi Madbhaktopina Vaishnava, Shruti Smriti Mamaiva Agnya Yaste Ullanghya Vartate. So, how can they go against Vedic injunctions so blatantly, publicly, and say that they are actually great? It is just their dietary preference. Look at the word. Look at the phrase, dietary preference. It's just their dietary. Insensitive comment was made on their dietary preferences, which should not have been done. Why? Our Vedic culture categorizes people according to their dietary preference. Chandal means a dog eater. Why? You are what you eat. We will judge you according to what you eat. And those who eat Krishna Prasadam, they are Vaishnavas. Those who eat Sattvic food, they are Brahmanas. I mean, Bhagavad Gita has distinction on food. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Dietary preference, it's not a preference. Yeah, you may have a preference, but it's not that you are choosing. You are under the influence of a certain mode and you are eating like that. And by your food, we can understand under what mode you are in. If he is eating meat, he is perfectly tamasic. How can he be called Swami? How can the title Swami come to him? And one another, I think he shared that video and somebody commenting on Amoghlila's so-called apology. He apologized. Maybe a half-hearted apology, but he did for the sake of pandering to the public again. Why? Why should we be so afraid? We should not be afraid. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what did he do? Like this Arhat who did this, imitated. Poundraka was there. Bishakisan, what was he saying? I am Narayan. And he said, who is that wood in the Jagannath Puri? I am the real Narayan. Why Narayan will speak like that? Rascal, right? So he wanted to punish him. But then because of he actually had mystic powers. Today's people don't have anything, but he had at least mystic powers. Tantric mystic powers. So it is very fearful, right? If you take on somebody like that, with that kind of influence, you're risking your life, you're risking everything. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife even asked him, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur's daughter fell ill. The whole village fell ill, the town fell ill. And his daughter was almost about to die. So severe was her illness. And he himself was attacked by heart attack, heart attack. And he was also rendered incapacitated. He was on bed. He could not even get up. He said, take me to the court. He was on the stretcher. He said, take me to the court on the stretcher and I'll give the judgment. And while this was happening, Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wife asked him, please don't go against him. He's so powerful, he'll do this. No. I will never back down on this rascal. He needs punishment. Even I die, I don't care. Even if our family dies, I don't care. So that is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There is no compromise at all. Oh, because life is in danger, so okay. You know what? Yeah, you are God. No. What is that? So he went on the stretcher, gave the judgment, put him in prison. And then somebody, of course, by Krishna's arrangement, some British guy, he came and cut his hair and all his yogi power was gone and he just fell on the floor like a completely, because 21 days he did not eat anything. No water, no nothing, no sleep. He was there, full energetic. That kind of tantric yogi. Even those kind of people, Bhaktivinoda Thakur did not back off. That is the Krishna wants to see. No. Some devotees, they say, oh no, if we tell this kind of words, we will have a bad. People will think ill of us. They will not think that we are good people, that we are criticizing people. We don't care what you think. We really don't care. What will happen to our public image? And I always reply, we want our public image to be this, that we will not take nonsense. We're not going to smile with you and say, oh yeah, okay, yes, shake hand. We're not going to do this. If you're a rascal, we'll tell you're a rascal. Even if we are killed in the process, never mind. We will just die saying the truth rather than live saying the lie. We don't want. It's a dishonorable. What is that? Dishonor is worse than death. It's a dishonorable to glorify these rascals and then live. Better than that is to die saying the truth. What is that? 234. Sambhavitasya chakirtir maranadapi atirityate. For a respectable man, ill fame or death. People will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. So why we should live? Whole life you will feel bad. If you are at least having some sense, you will feel bad that you glorified some rascal who was completely against the Vedas. So we should know. We should be confident, first of all, what is dharma and what is adharma. And then call out. Not to simply pick fights with people. That's not the point. To actually enlighten them. So let's see why this kind of atheistic religions flourish. See, if nobody follows, a stupid speaker who's talking some nonsense, he will not have a following and he will die a natural death. He will come, okay, enough of my speaking, no customers. I rather go and do something, work somewhere and get some. But because people hear them, they have a good business, no now. And then they will start speaking and they'll become famous and millions of followers. Now the Sadhguru is guy, he's also like that. Simply because he's talking nonsense, talking rubbish. But people just listen, so he has a business to do. We can go around talking nonsense and. So if people are educated about what is correct, then this will not happen. Nobody will go to his speech. See, this is why it happens. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha karya karye bhaya bhaye bandham moksham cha yavetti buddhihi sapartha satviki. Those who are in the mode of goodness, this is their situation. That understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness. What is to be feared, what is not to be feared. For a demon, what is fearful? Like Narasimhadev, big, very fearful. For Hiranyakashipu, first time he felt fear in his life when he saw Hiranyakashipu. When he actually heard the sound of the roar from the pillar. The pillar cracked open and then there was a roar. That is when he first experienced fear in his life. But he was not afraid of killing brahmanas, killing cows. He was not afraid. But you see, on the contrary, Prahlad Maharaj is saying quite the opposite. He says, Naham bibhemyajitati bhayanakasya jihvarka netra bhrukutira bhasogradam shrat antrasrajakshatajakeshara shankukarnan nirhrada bhita bhiktigi bhadari bhinna khagrat. He says, my Lord, who are never conquered by anyone, I am certainly not afraid of your ferocious mouth and tongue, your eyes bright like the sun, or your frowning eyebrows. I do not fear your sharp pinching teeth, your garland of intestines, your mane soaked with blood, or your high wedge-like ears. Nor do I fear your tumultuous roaring which makes elephants flee to distant places, or your nails which are meant to kill your enemies. He is not afraid. But next. Prastosmyaham kripanavatsaladuh sahogra samsara chakra kadanagrasatam pranita baddhasva bhirushattama tengri moolam pritopavarga sharanam vayase kadano. O most powerful, insurmountable Lord, who are kind to the fallen souls, I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my activities, and therefore I am very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will that moment come when you will call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal for liberation from conditioned life? This is what he is fearing. Whereas Hiranyakashipu had no fear of material life. He feared the Lord. Whereas Prahlad, he has no fear of the Lord, he is fearing material life. Fearing in the sense, of course, alert, being alert. See. So we have to be very careful about being led away into this material life. Trasto hyaham. What's that? Trastosmyaham. Trasta means frightened. I am frightened. I am not frightened of form. I am frightened of Maya. So, what ought to be feared and what ought not to be feared? Person in the mode of goodness, he knows. What is binding and what is liberating is in the mode of goodness. So this is proper person, one who can think straight. Now, this is where the problem starts, the next verse, 1831. Yaya dharmam adharmam cha karyam chakaryam evacha ayathavat prajanati buddhihi sapartha rajasi. Our Bhagavad Gita is called Bhagavad Gita as it is. And in Hindi, it is called Bhagavad Gita Yatharup. In Bengali, Jata Jata. And Gujarati, what is that? No, not Yatharup. Yatha ahe tatha. That is, I think, Marathi. Huh? Dāsa. So Gujarat also Gujarat is everywhere. Even in Telugu, it is Yatha Tatham. So that means as it is. So Yatha. So Ayathavat here, you see Ayathavat. Imperfectly. Yatha Tatham means as it is. Yatha Tatha. But Ayathavat means not as it is. Something distorted. Imperfectly. So, Rajasi. O son of Pritha, that understanding which cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion. Cannot distinguish between religion and irreligion. Between action that should be done and action that should not be done. Is in the mode of passion. So they cannot distinguish. They will take either way. Sometimes religion as irreligion, irreligion as religion. They'll mix up irreligion and religion as religion. For example, Hindu. He will worship. Hanuman Chalisa he will chant. Vishnu Sahasranam he will chant. What is that? Lalita Sahasranam he will chant. He will chant also Sai Baba mantra he will chant. What is that? From where he got into. So he, in fact, Sai Baba bhajans are there. You know, they sing Krishna song, suddenly Sai Baba will come inside. And whenever they see people, Sai Ram they say. Ram is God, Sai is man. Why are you putting both together like that? And they equate them. Full Mayavad nonsense. So, and he is also Muslim man. And his temple, Shirdi, Tirupati is the richest temple in India, second richest Shirdi. This is our Hinduism. Because why? Don't know what is religion, what is not religion. Don't know. Ayathavat. Not sure. When you're not sure, better do it, no? What if he is God? Something will happen to my family, something will happen to me, so better put your picture inside. This is the pious fools. These are pious fools. They have some piety, some religious, but they'll put nonsense also inside. They're not sure. When we criticize, say, oh, why you criticize, why you talk like that, you should speak nice words. These are nice words. If I say that, okay, the thief is here, if I tell you that he's a very nice man, actually, very first class gentleman, then what I'm doing, is that nice word? Yeah, it is seemingly nice word. I'm saying he's a gentleman, I'm really praising someone, but he's a rascal. How can I praise him? Honesty is when I actually point out, hey, he's a thief, stay away from this guy. So that is honesty, that is actually beneficial. So people just see how my face is. Oh, angry face. How can sadhu become angry? Then don't worship Hanuman, don't chant Hanuman Chalisa. No, why you are chanting? Hanuman was angry, he burned the Lanka. Why are you worshipping him? Why are you worshipping Narsimhadev? He was so angry. Oh, Narsimha Swami. Why? He is angry. Why you are worshipping? Proper use of anger. When the devotee or the Lord is blasphemed, one should become angry. Otherwise, he is a rascal. For example, husband and wife. If somebody comes and attacks the wife, if the husband says, what kind of protection is that? If he really loves his wife, he should give up, he's ready to give up his life to protect her, right? That's Ram. Sita was abducted. Ram went to, fight Ravan and take her back. That is what a husband should do. But if he does not, oh, Sita went down. Okay, let's go back Ayodhya. What? Where is the love? So, love means if the beloved is offended, then one must become angry. Otherwise, there is no love there. If I am just wanting to show smiling face to everybody, I am very disgusting. No moral compass at all. There is zero morality there. There's zero love, zero affection for the Lord, nothing. Rascal of the first order, the smiling idiot has to be driven away from every place. So, we should know, we should be very sure, then only we can speak strongly. When we don't know, ayathavat, why we do not know? Because we don't read. In the Shastra, everything is there. Tasmat Shastram Pramanante Karya Akarya Vyavasthito Gyatva Shastra Vidanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi. 1624, Bhagavad Gita. According to Shastra, we should know what is Karya, what is Akarya. What is duty, what is not duty, what is correct, what is wrong, what is right, what is wrong. We should know what is everything. Then we know for sure what we should say and what we should do. And if somebody is doing wrong, we should point that out also. But this is what happens with Rajasi. They don't know. Then the Tamasic is worst. Adharmam dharmamitiya manyate tamasavrita sarvarthan viparitamscha buddhihi sapartha tamasi. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion, under the spell of illusion and darkness, and strives always in the wrong direction, O Partha, is in the mode of ignorance. And unfortunately today, even in Hinduism, this has come in. I made some video about saying Sadhguru is a rascal. Some idiot went and made a video about me saying I am a rascal. Because and that video has more views than mine. So why? Because of this tamasic. They don't know what is right and what is wrong, and they think that the person who is right is actually the wrong person. The person who is wrong is actually the right person. That's how they think. Tamasic. All this happens when we do not read our scripture, especially Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is enough. No need to read Vedas, Puranas, Upanishads and try to decipher. You will die before that. Read Bhagavad Gita in the association of devotees, then we can understand everything what is what. And then we can proceed further in preaching to others also. Now, let's see. Kinds of irreligion. Vidharmaha paradharmascha abhasa upama chalaha adharma shakhaha panchema dharmagyo dharmavat tyajet. This is very important. Last line. Dharmagyaha adharmavat tyajet. What is that? Dharmagyaha, one who is aware of religious principles, adharmavat, accepting them as irreligious, tyajet, should give them. So, dharmagya means one who is aware of religious principles. That means he should be aware of non-religious principles also. If he is only aware of religious principles and not aware of non-religious principles, he will mix it up again. Ayathavat, Rajasi, we don't know correct or wrong. We should know what is not religion also. And what are the symptoms of an atheistic religion or a concocted religion or a deviated religion or a new type of religion. We should know these things. So when we are a spiritualist, sometimes they think that we only, you people only, this Shastra, Shloka, something. You don't know practical life. We know better than you. We know better than you. Because material and spiritual, everything belongs to Krishna. And Krishna, like for example, people, family life, for example. People in materialists, they want to be happy in family life. And we know that actually this kind of material affection is detrimental for spiritual advancement. So we should try to detach ourselves from that. That is the whole point. Because we understand the dangerous nature of Maya. Whereas they are just bewildered, thinking that everything is nice, everything is hunky-dory. So in this way, they don't see it as it is. So, They think we are fools. Let them think that way. Because we don't endeavor in the like business and like making big money, and we don't endeavor. They think we have no drive in our life. We have no you know like nothing. Dead guy. There's a dead fellow. Better you stay in temple and do some chant mantra and whatever. They think like this. Purohit, Purohit, or some kind of priest means that guy who failed exams, could not get into engineering, doctor or lawyer, everything failed. Then he got some job as some chanter of mantras in temple. That's it. That is the idea of a person who has this color. This color means failure. A beggar's excuse to live. Failure's excuse to live, this one. Because he could not get money by ordinary job, so he is sitting here collecting some dakshin from here and there, and that's his life. So they think like this. But the reason why we do not endeavor in that direction is because it's a fruitless endeavor. There's no point in endeavoring in that direction. It's a waste of time. Just because somebody is moving fast does not mean he's moving right. It doesn't mean. He has speed but no direction. I think I wrote one article like that. Going fast is not important. Movement Movement?
Not equal to progress.
Not equal to? Progress. Movement is not equal to progress. Progress means first of all, there has to be, when you say progress, there has to be an aim. When you put Google Maps destination, you fix the destination and then it will show you progress, how far you are, how near you are to the destination, and it will show you a path. There is no aim, then how can you say it is progress or what? But they may not have aim, or they have other aims, concocted aims. But from the point of view of the real aim of human life, which direction they are going. So it may be actually a regression rather than a progression when one goes fast in the opposite direction. One is going at 200 kilometers per hour, and then destination is that side, he is going this side. Then what is that? That is not progress. Better than him is the guy who is walking the other side at 2 kilometers per hour. He is better than this fellow. So, adharma. So let's see, what is this? There are 5 branches of irreligion. Is that? Adharma. 5 branches of irreligion, appropriately known as irreligion, vidharma. Religious principles for which one is unfit, paradharma. Pretentious religion, abhas. Analogical religion, upadharma, and cheating religion, chaladharma. One who is aware of real religious life must abandon these 5 as irreligious. So that means we should know each of these systematically, nicely, then we can know. And then now there is a little bit expansion on this. Dharma badho vidharmah syat, paradharmo anya choditah, upadharmastu pakhando, dambhova shabdabhit chalaha. Religious principles that obstruct one from following his own religion are called vidharma. Religious principles introduced by others are called paradharma. A new type of religion created by one who is falsely proud and who opposes the principles of the Vedas is called upadharma. An interpretation by one's jugglery of words is called chaladharma. So here looks like this Arhat started upadharma. New type of religion created by one who is falsely proud and who opposes the principles of Vedas. Now, next verse. Yastvichaya kritah pumbhir abhaso hyashramat prithak. The next 2 lines are a question continuing the next verse. So let's see. A pretentious religious system manufactured by one who willfully neglects the prescribed duties of his order of life is called abhas, or a dim reflection of a false similarity. Like those Matha neda kapni poda tilak na ke galay mala dekhte vaishnaver mata asala shakta ka jirvela sahaja bhajan korchina mamu sangalaye porer bala. So these kind of people are pretentious religious. What are they? Porer bala. So Matha neda means bald head. Kapni poda, wearing kopin inside. Or sometimes only kopin, like Babaji. or say devotee's dress. Tilak nake, on the nose there is tilak, galai mala. Dekhte Vaishnaver mata. You see him, he looks like Vaishnav. Iron shirt and iron dhoti, clean chanting bag, never used. So it looks. So of course, chanting bag should be clean regularly. But these people, they're not interested in chanting. Everything looks. Dekhte Vaishnaver mata. Asala Shakta Kajar Vela. He is a Shakta. He is a sense enjoyer. Shakta means actually worshipper of Durga. He is called a Shakta because he worships Shakti. But a sense enjoyer, sense gratifier is also called Shakta. And also those Durga worshippers also sense enjoyers only. But even an absolute sense enjoyer, he is also called Shakta. Because Durga is what? Maya. And he is worshipping Maya. He wants to enjoy Maya. So, Shakta. Asala Shakta Kajar Bela. Sahaja Bhajan Korchana Mamu. He is already like uncle, Mamu. But he makes, show off like, chanting Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa. But Sangaloye Porer Bala. He is associating with the daughter of the neighbor. Other's daughter. He is associating with them. Like Prabhupada said, what is that? Jai Radhe, actually he is thinking of Radha, the neighbor. This kind of devotion. During devotional service, many things can distract us. Pushpa, there can be a pushpa there. Arati, somewhere. So this kind of pretentious religion, making one facade, and then internally is something else. So this is a pretentious religion. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur severely criticized such apasampradayas. From Gaudiya Vaishnavism, such apasampradayas sprung. And they numbered them as 13 different types of apasampradayas. Aula, Baula, Sakhi Beki, Gauranga Nagari, Sahajiya, Jat Gosai, all these people. This kind of Kartabhaja. So in this kind of apasampradayas are condemned. So that is pretentious religious system. Dim reflection or false similarity. These are all adharma, in the garb of dharma. That is the problem. When it is straight up adharma, it is easy to notice or take note. But when it is like this, hidden, people get confused. So we should know exactly what is what. And that's why today, this Bhagavatam, see, Dharma prodhita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parairishvara Sadyo hridya varudhyatetra kritibhi Shushrushubistatkshanat. Especially this first line. Dharma prodhita kaitavotra. Atra means here in this Bhagavatam. Dharma, kaitava dharma. This is another word for cheating religion. Kaitava dharma. Prodhita, pra-ujhita. Ujhita means ejected, like completely uprooted, thrown away. Thrown away, that is the word. Dharma prodhita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. This is only meant for the nirmatsaranam, the non-envious. And only one class of people are non-envious, Vaishnavas. That too pure Vaishnavas. There are so many envious Vaishnavas also. If Vaishnavism is practiced in the mode of ignorance and passion, there will be envy. That is there, 329, 8, 9, 10. So, here, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavad Puran propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. So, not only is adharma condemned, but dharma which is not paradharma, savai pumsam parodharma, yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahaitukya apratihata yayatma suprasidati. 126. Prabhupada always quoted this. What is that? Real dharma, transcendental religion and mundane religion. Two. Transcendental religion means that which connects us to Krishna, which is a transcendental relationship of bhakti. Other than that, mundane religion, which is materially motivated, even though it is counted among pious people, I mean those, artho jigyasur artharthi, jnani cha bharatarshabha. Those who go to God for material benefits, they are considered pious, but not really advanced. But here, whether it is pious or impious, everything is condemned, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. That means even going to God with material motive is condemned here in Bhagavatam. That is actual Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma means not just, some Hinduism. Sanatana means what? Eternal. There is no beginning, there is no end. Dharma. There is no start date for this religion, unlike other religious systems. There is no start date. And not just that, dharma means our constitutional position and activity. And we are Sanatan, we are eternal, we don't have birth or death. The body takes birth and death, that's a different thing. The soul does not have birth and death. And the Lord has no birth and death, He is Sanatan. So our relationship with the Lord is also Sanatan. So to engage in that relationship is actual Sanatan Dharma. Otherwise, it is Varnashram Dharma, pointing towards Sanatan, but it is still materially motivated if we are into the Karma Kanda stuff and Jnana Kanda stuff. So, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Keval Vishar Bhanda. What is that? Narottam Das Thakur is it? Karma Kanda, Kevala Vishara. Narottam Das Thakur has sung Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, Kevala Vishara Bhanda. The path of Karma Kanda, fruitive activities, and the path of Jnana Kanda, speculation, are just like strong pots of poison. Amrita Boliya Jeba Khai, Nana Joni Sada Fire. A person who mistakes this poison to be nectar and drinks it travels in different species of life. Kadarya Bhakshana Kare. And according to his body, he eats all types of abominable things. Adhaha Pate Jai. Where is that? Oh. What is that? Adhaha Pate Jai. The last line. Then he goes down, sinks down into this material pool. Huh? I cannot understand. Anyway. Then there is this other verse, Chaitanya Charitamritam. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kama. Nishkama. Eva. 19:149. Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Ataiva Shanta Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Ashanta. Because the devotee of Lord Krishna is desireless, he is peaceful. Fruitive workers desire material enjoyment, jnanis desire liberation, and yogis desire material opulence by yogic powers and all that. Therefore, they are all lusty and cannot be peaceful. A lusty man cannot be peaceful. In fact, what is that verse? Real misery is to be implicated in searching for sex pleasure. Real happiness is to transcend material happiness and unhappiness. And real misery is to be implicated in searching for sex pleasure. The actual Sanskrit is Griham Shariram. No, not this one. Where is that? Sukham dukkha sukhatyayah dukkham kama sukhapeksha. Dukkham kama sukhapeksha. People want to get real happiness by going into want going into sex life, marriage. They want to get real happiness, happily married. They say the husband is married, the wife is happy. Wife is happy, the husband is married, so they're happily married. So, sukham dukkha sukhatyayah dukham kama sukhapeksha. So, anyway, that's a digression. But this is the point. Last point is this. What happened with Arhat and the whole Jain religion, which is considered atheism and a deviation from the Sanatana Dharma? How did it start? Imitation of Mahabhagavat, or God or Mahabhagavat. Actually, although he's God, he was, he was exemplifying a Mahabhagavat, right? The behavior of a Mahabhagavat devotee. So he imitated. When we imitate somebody whom when we're not in that position, this is what happens. Everything just is a deviation. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur said this. Nectar of Instruction 5. Purport. When a person realizes himself to be an eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Krishna's service. Always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy name of Krishna, he understands that his only business is in spreading Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized as an Uttama Adhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the 6 processes, Dadati, Pratigrahanati, etc. Indeed, the advanced Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava should be accepted as a spiritual master. Everything one possesses should be offered to him, for it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavat without being self-realized. By such imitation, one will eventually become degraded. See, this is what Arhat did. This was his mistake. And although it looks like all moral, and Jain food means really like pure, no onion, garlic, no many things, but it is condemned. And they also do this. They have to pluck their hair. Yesterday only, I think Vrindavaneshwari Mataji was telling some of her relatives. I think one of them is from Jain side, and they used to have the sadhus. The sadhus always are naked, and they have also. They call them the Digambar, Shvetambar. So even the women also, they are white cloth they wear, Shvetamba. Maybe some men also, is it? White cloth. Then Digambar also are there who don't wear any cloth at all. So, and they pluck their hair. Only women or men also, I heard. So, the whole point actually, this is what happens when we are not on the level and then we do this, when we'll be crazy, like, honestly. So, these things should not be imitated. One should behave on his level, but he should always seek to progress. He should always seek to progress and associate with advanced devotees to progress further. So this is the danger. Like now, you see, this is a classic example of what is happening in ISKCON. They are imitating a pure devotee. And then you see what is the result. It's all crumbling. Snugopal Prabhu, he narrated this classic incident of imitation nonsense in ISKCON. So this Bhagwan Das Adhikari, that time I think Bhagwan Swami, I don't know, he became a sannyasi or not. But he was a guru, one of the 11 gurus. In those days, nowadays the gurus are saying in ISKCON that we will take you to Prabhupada. We're not liberated, we'll take you to Prabhupada. Prabhupada will take you back. Those days, in the 80s, they say, we will take you back. We are Mahabhagavats on the highest order. They used to say like that, so much government. So, Bhagwan Das. So he was in Mayapur. And all the other many Prabhupada disciples were there and everything. So he was a very puffed up person. So his disciple was doing the Arati, Radha Madhav, Ashtasakhi, doing Arati. Then, the method, you have to offer first light to Guru and then like that up the parampara, to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and finally Radha Krishna, like that, right? So he was doing first he offered Guru and then it was, he will give to the devotees, no? They will all take Arati. So when it came to him, somebody brought it to Bhagwan. And he said, don't you know that is already been offered to me? How can you offer an offered thing to me? Then another, his godbrother saw him. Okay. Then after prasadam time, he asked him. So he sat down for prasadam. Maharaj, I thought you already ate in the altar. So this is what happens when you try to imitate. You don't know how to do it, you see. Stupid, make fool out of yourself. Did Prabhupada ever do that? He never did that. Yes, his disciples were all offering through his mantra and only, and then after that he is taking. But here he wanted to be too smart, This is what happened. Nicely backfired. So, and this is just one example. I mean, how many gurus fell down? How many gurus fell down? Because of imitation. And not only imitation means, I'm trying to act like pure. No, just by occupying that post, that is reserved. Acharya post is reserved for pure devotee. First verse of Nectar of Instruction. What is that? Vacho vegam, manasa krodha vegam, jihva vegam, udaropastha vegam, etan veganyo vishaheta dhira, sarvam apimam prithvim sasishat. Sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Otherwise, not qualified. So, just by sitting there, it's imitation. However humble one may want to portray himself, when he's not on that level, don't sit there. That's why, if you just go back to that, here. One should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavat without being self-realized. By such imitation, one will eventually become degraded. Another person was staying in the Vrindavan at the time, and devotees used to come and tell Prabhupada, he is now chanting 64 rounds. Prabhupada heard it. And then next, no, actually, this is how they said, last month he was chanting 64 rounds, and now he's chanting 108 rounds, and soon he's going to chant 192 rounds, it seems, he said. And Prabhupada said, the moment he says, I, that means he's a fallen person. And then eventually, sure enough, 2 weeks he lasted, and then after that, never to be found anywhere, gone. That is one example. Another one is this person, he went to some Babas. Vrindavan, so many Babas, Gurus are there. He went to one of them. And that person said, you are actually a peacock in the spiritual world. In the Golok Vrindavan, you are a peacock in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. This foolish fellow, he started, cooing like a peacock, practicing. He actually did it. This is my Siddha Deha, Siddha Pranali. All these words they use. That's not... Shukadeva Goswami was a parrot. He spoke Bhagavatam. He did not do parrot sounds. So we cannot... see, this is what... And you see, like Rupa Goswami, she is a Manjari, Gopi. He did not behave like a girl, like a gay fellow. Right? So, I mean, when we have to behave according to what the service is, simply imitating this kind of thing, what is this? So, when we do not know, we can't hold it for long. And Gaurkishore Das Babaji, if you see his life, that whole book, we have done a series on his life also. All stories are like this only. He is just exposing all these rascals who are imitating. One person came, he was having kirtan, and one rich gentleman, he came with a few people around him. And in the kirtan, he just went, swoon and fell on the floor. And everybody was holding him, And then Gaurkishore Das Babaji stopped the kirtan, get out! Then everybody... Then his followers, no, how can you get out now? He asked me to get out. Then they also felt insulted. How can he insult such a great devotee who fell down ecstatic in Kirtan? Then they left. Some of the onlookers who were participating in Kirtan, they also left. What is this? Such a sincere devotee, how can he say like that? And when they all left, whoever sincere were there, Gauri Babaji said, a chaste woman will not show her body to anybody other than the husband. Similarly, a chaste devotee will not try to exhibit his ecstatic symptoms in front of everyone. He will keep it hidden. This is the sign of a prostitute, he said. So, she is so strict, so heavy. So, now, in this verse, so reading on in the NOI 5 purport, in this verse, Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The devotee should also know his own position and should not try to imitate a devotee situated on a higher platform. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. Very clear, right? A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master. This paragraph, these lines, one ISKCON devotee was arguing with me. Yeah. So I showed him this. Hey, can you read? Let's read. So I was reading this. He was also having the book in his hand on the other side of the call. So, you see here, what is Prabhupada saying? One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the Uttama Adhikari platform. I said, so only Uttama Adhikari. He says, you see next line, a neophyte Vaishnava or Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples. See, proven, hence prove. What it said, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari. What is the point here? No, but Prabhupada said can. This is the idiotic arguments they're offering. And I was thinking like, who am I arguing with? Like a total idiot. So in ISKCON, they have this kind of arguments. No, but Prabhupada said can. He never said cannot. He said can. Yeah, insufficient, whatever, can. Why? Why are you saying cannot? He said, yeah, Uttama Adhikari, but you can. Is this how we argue? So, those who are have the mercy of the Guru, of the spiritual master, they will understand the proper conclusion. Otherwise, it is just cognitive bias. They just want to be, justifying whatever they see, whatever, that can, in the slightest way, justify their stance, they will try to do it. So, although it is, a primary school student can see that this is what Prabhupada is meaning and what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is meaning. So anyway, imitation is a very dangerous thing, Anusharan. I know the video that Subal Prabhu shared in the group, which the response to Amoghalila's, what is that? When he said sorry, apology, response to Amoghalila's apology, that Bengali person, follower of Vivekananda. So he justified Vivekananda's, that also he tried to justify nonsense, but also his ganja taking, he tried to justify. He said, see, ganja, the British have done it, said that it is a, banned substance, drug and intoxicant and all this, but, those days, it is not uncommon for sadhus to take ganja, so it is nothing to be alarmed about. It is because one of the questions that Amoghlalila asked was, how can a self-realized soul take ganja? How can he smoke weed? So he said it is not a big thing in those days. He's justifying. But Prabhupada many times told us that these Babas, these Aghoris, all these people, they try to imitate Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva did not take ganja. He drank the ocean of poison to save others so that they won't get the poison. And whatever poison spilled from his thing, the snakes and scorpions and all the, the poisonous creatures, they took the poison and they became poisonous. So he actually did that to save. That is there in the Bhagavatam. So he's out of compassion he did it. What are these people doing? Smoking ganja. Rascals. We will point blank say they are rascals. We will not pull our punches. Because this is how dharma becomes spoiled. When you introduce something which is not even dharmic, and then, oh, yeah, the Babas, nonsense Babas. And he was justifying. That's why he is intoxicating, eating meat. How can he be called Swami, this Vivekananda? How can he be called Swami? So, that's why we must know what is what. So, okay, I'll stop here. Any questions or comments on this topic? What is demonic principle? This person always telling Satya at all cost is tapasya and bestows siddhi if one done for a dashabdam, for a decade. Okay. So, any questions or comments on this topic? Yeah. Yes. So, this is actually 10:33, 29 to 36, all are. Sri Shuka Uvacha, Dharma Vyatikramo Drishta, Ishvaranam cha sahasam, Tejiyasam nadoshaya, Vahneha sarvabhujo yatha. Sukadeva Goswami said, the status of powerful controllers is not harmed by any apparently audacious transgression of morality we may see in them, for they are just like fire which devours everything fed into it and remains unpolluted. Naitat samachare jatu manasape hyaneshvaraha vinashyatyacharan maudhyad yatha rudrobdhijam visham. One who is not a great controller should never imitate the behavior of ruling personalities, even mentally. If out of foolishness, when an ordinary person does imitate such behavior, he will simply destroy himself, just as a person who is not Rudra would destroy himself if he tried to drink an ocean of poison. Now, another ISKCON, some devotees actually argue like this. They've quote this against us. Oh, you see, should not imitate. Prabhupada can criticize rascal. We cannot. We should not speak so strongly. Prabhupada, is different, no? We should not imitate him. They use this against us. But that is nonsense. Because Prabhupada said, do what I do, say what I say. There should be no compromise. Neither my Guru Maharaj compromise, nor me, nor any of my students should compromise. Then we have to say what is the truth. Now, next. Ishvaranam vachaha satyam tathai vacharitam kvachit tesham yat svavacho yuktam buddhimam stat samachare. The statements of the Lord's empowered servants are always true, and the acts they perform are exemplary when consistent with those statements. And when not consistent with those statements, they're so-called audacious transgression. They are meant for a different purpose, which is not same as we transgressing the Vedic scriptures. So therefore, one who is intelligent should carry out their instructions and not imitate their actions. Now, next. कुशलाचरितेन ईशाम इह स्वार्थो न विद्यते विपर्ययेण वानर्थो nirahankārinām prabho. My dear Prabhu, when these great persons who are free from false ego act piously in this world, they have no selfish motives to fulfill. And even when they act in apparent contradiction to the laws of piety, they are not subject to sinful reactions. This is the demigods, sometimes they behave in obnoxious ways, like Indra challenging Krishna. They do this to actually teach us, you see, so that we learn that even the demigods are not as powerful as Krishna and they can also make mistakes and everything. Kim utakhila sattvanam tiriyan martya divaukasam ishitush cheshitavyanam kushala kushalanvayaha. How then could the Lord of all created beings animals, men, and demigods have any connection with the piety and impiety that affect his subject creatures. So, if even devotees are not subjected, even the powerful controller, what to speak of the Lord? Because the question was about his Ras Leela. How can Krishna be immoral and do Ras Leela with other women? Who are the other women? Who are those women? They are his parts and parcels. In fact, the husbands who took them as wives, they are the ones who are having illicit relation. We all belong to Krishna. Of course, it is not illicit, but it's marriage. But if you see spiritually, our relationships in this material world, we think this is my wife, husband, children, parent. These are all illicit relationships. These are nonsense. Our real relationship is with Krishna. These are all false relationships, but Krishna is saying, okay, fine, you can't give it up, okay, you use it in my service, and eventually come out of this. Why there is sannyas? If these are all real relationships. No, there's no need of sannyas. Come out of this. For time being, you cannot handle it, okay, stay in the illusion, but in a responsible way, come out of the illusion later on. So it is illusion. So their dancing with Krishna is the actual chastity. Why Lakshmi Devi, who is so chaste she is. She did so much tapasya to enter Ras Leela, she could not. That means even her level of tapasya is not qualified. She does not qualify to enter Ras Leela. How much purer is Radharani's and the gopis' tapasya or chastity? And finally, this one. Material activities never entangle the devotees of the Supreme Lord who are fully satisfied by serving the dust of his lotus feet. Nor do material activities entangle those intelligent sages who have freed themselves from the bondage of all fruitive actions by the power of yoga. So how could there be any question of bondage for the Lord himself who assumes his transcendental forms according to his own sweet will? He who lives as the overseeing witness within the gopis, the Paramatma in the heart, and their husbands, and indeed within all embodied living beings, assumes forms in this world to enjoy transcendental pastimes. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham dehamastita bhajate tadrishi krida ya shrutva tatparo bhavet. This is the last. When the Lord assumes a human-like body to show mercy to his devotees, he engages in such pastimes as will attract those who hear about them to become dedicated to him. So in this way, you cannot imitate them. So alright, I'll stop it here. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande.